on Sunday to decide a champion in the America East Conference. Should be a fun one. At 90 minutes on the clock, we're underway in the opening 45 here at Wildcat Stadium. Glad you're with us on this Thursday evening. New Hampshire and the home whites, traveling blacks for the Binghamton Bearcats. Two teams that, like we alluded to, played to a one-goal game earlier this year. It was won by New Hampshire back on September the 29th, the game in Binghamton. It was a goal scored by Ali Giovino, her only goal as a New Hampshire Wildcat. Kind of a weird goal, too. It was a clearance attempt that turned into a goal. Here's a chance for New Hampshire off rip, but a shot coming off the foot of Megan Garenti is deflected towards the near side. We touched on Garenti in the open. You can see what makes her so dangerous.
Yeah, she likes to get that ball and head right to the goal. And I just, gasped there a little bit. Little too much space for my liking by the Bearcats, giving Megan Garenti some space, but they closed it down quickly to turn the shot aside. A quick goal in this game could go a long way to determining who wins.
Garenti, the 2024 America East Striker of the Year, second in the conference in goals. Here comes a counterattack for Binghamton. Cross in front, and it kicks side the crossbar. That was a centering feed by Hannah Mimas, trying to find a cutting Lauren Clark in front. Clark just could not get it under the crossbar.
Yeah, well, there's Mimas, our feature player of the year. She goes down the left wing side and tries to find her teammate out in front. She does get a knee on it. The knee is not the best part of the body to be able to dictate where the shot's going to go. But a nerve-wracking shot there by the Bearcats on the Wildcat net.
So 90 seconds in, we've seen Garenti, we've seen Mimas, and you saw that pass from Hannah Mimas. She has 8 assists on the year. That mark leads the conference 2 more than anyone else. And oh, by the way, she can score 2. 7 goals on the season. That leads this Binghamton team.
Yeah, I think that's really rare in this day and age. You get specialists who special in serving it up or specialists in finishing. But to have somebody with 7 goals, 8 assists, 23 total points on the year for Mimas.
Yeah, not bad for Hannah Mimas, a midfielder on this Binghamton team. And a first-team all-conference selection in the America East. Probably was one of the finalists to win midfielder of the year in the conference, but that belonged to Bailey Eyre of Vermont, who led the conference in goals scored this season. Bearcats beat Eyre's Vermont Catamounts to get here. That was a thriller in a game on Saturday that went to double overtime and then penalty kicks. But Vermont fell up just short of the upset on the road at Binghamton. Hannah Mimas, who else, got the game-winning walk-off penalty kick goal to send the third-seeded Bearcats to this America East Championship semifinal matchup against New Hampshire. Here comes Clark, sprung free far side. The junior from Manlius, New York, just outside of Syracuse. Former FM Hornet.
I find it always interesting when you have a playoff setup like this. You have a play-in game, essentially the quarterfinals. The semifinalist doesn't have to play, but the winner of the quarterfinals already has a game under their belt and not a lot of time to prepare for it. So, is it good? Is it bad? Well, you'll be able to tell at the end of the game, of course, but it's always hard to say what is the advantage and what is not the advantage.
Well, that's the classic debate, right, of rest versus rust.
Right, yeah.
New Hampshire hasn't played in a week since they lost on Halloween to Maine here 1-0. Just their second conference loss of the season. Meanwhile, Binghamton had that home game on Saturday, taking down the 6-seeded Vermont Catamounts, a penalty kick win for Binghamton.
I think the Wildcats, they were very fortunate. This foul was called. Look how close to the side of the penalty box this is, the penalty area. It's really close.
Right on the precipice of the 18. Here's a chance for Clark. Can't get a foot on it. Second try coming from behind as Allison Falvo could not get it under the crossbar on kind of a pseudo penalty or corner kick. Moved it a bit closer. A couple of good chances for Binghamton here in the box.
Yeah, that's just a free cross, what that free kick is. And you get time to pick out your teammates in there. And 2 touches on the ball by Bearcats.
Falvo hasn't scored a goal in over 2 years. Good chance for her there. But again, could not get it on the net of UNH starting goaltender Sally Rainey, the 2-time defending goaltender of the year in this conference, including this year in 2024. Here comes Garenti with tempo the opposite way. This one trickles out off of a Wildcat foot for a far corner Bearcat throw-in.
Yeah, a little too long on the touch there by Garenti. Went right into the Bearcat defender. And then Garenti deflected it out of bounds. And then what you can do is try to lock in the team down deep in the corner when they have that deep throw-in, and then go win the next touch, which UNH just did.
Five minutes gone by, no score. These two teams in their last two meetings, both 1-0 games. When they last met in the tournament, we showed you that goal scored by Meyer to send New Hampshire to the NCAA tournament. That was a 4-4 game that went into overtime and then penalty kicks. New Hampshire went up in that game 4-1 at halftime. Binghamton came back and made it 4-4, sent it to OT, then OT2, then penalty kicks when New Hampshire won. I don't imagine we're going to have 8 goals scored in regulation here tonight.
Yeah, I just don't think so. Even though the Bearcats, one of the two highest scoring teams in America East with Vermont, but the Wildcats not up there that high with goal scoring this year. They put 22 home. Their stellar part of their play was the defense. They only gave up 10 goals all year.
The defense has been awesome this year. You mentioned just 10 goals allowed. A goals against average of under 3/4 of a goal per game, 0.63 per game. That is 15th in the country. They had 9 shutouts this year. That was first in the conference. They allowed more than 2 goals 0 times. In 13 of their 16 games, they allowed opponents to 1 goal or fewer. Got to be the first quarter kick of the game here for New Hampshire, coming from the near side. And a Hewlett will take it. One of the veteran captains on this team, the grad student, a 5-year starter. And a whistle comes in.
That quarter kick actually hit the crossbar, but it was well after the whistle blew. The referee is going to have some words with a couple of players down near the goalkeeper.
They're going to stop the clock here and talk to Caitlin Williams, the Binghamton netminder. Gives more time for that horn to be blown in the stands.
We have a vuvuzela down there somewhere?
That's how you know it's a big game. I think our friend that stole Christmas down there is the guy with the horn. As this one is, again, chipped into the 18, hits off the football goalpost. So I guess accuracy for Hewlett, hit the goalpost after hitting the crossbar. We're checking in constantly with our game going up north between Maine and UMass Lowell. Of course, the winner of this game plays the winner of that game. That's our crossbox vision. Maine on the board first here on this opening goal scored at Mahaney Diamonds, as the top-seeded Black Bears against UMass Lowell has an early 1-0 lead. Guess that tally on that cross and a finish in front for the Black Bears.
Yeah, cross right by the first base coach's box, and we know how good the baseball program is up there at the University of Maine, and using that field for a football pitch.
Yeah, she hit a single through the right side of the infield, and her teammate was there to knock it in the back of the net, as Maine has a 1-0 lead over UMass Lowell. Lowell and Maine are the two teams New Hampshire lost to this year, which is interesting when you look at their conference record, 6-2. If New Hampshire wins and Lowell wins, that game on Sunday will be here. If Maine wins, regardless of who wins this game, the game will be in Orono.
Yeah, and that's what was on the line the last game of the regular season for the Wildcats. They played Maine right here and only lost 1-0. You knew it was going to be a low-scoring goal, but a low-scoring game. But that's what was on the line, was hosting the tournament all the way through, as long as you're in it.
A penalty kick for the Black Bears. The 23rd minute was the difference in that game. UMaine went on top 1-0, never looked back. And a 1-0 win over New Hampshire, which when the Wildcats lose this year, it's games like that. Opponent scores just a goal. Binghamton entering here at 7-5-5. They've had quite a turnaround this year. Got off to a really slow start. did the Bearcats. Binghamton began the season 3-5-2, but since the calendar has flipped to October, they're unbeaten, 4-0-3. Their last loss came against New Hampshire on September 29th. This one dangerous into the box. New Hampshire trying to clear it. Coming from behind the play, a strike coming near side. Open shot for a score! Mackenzie Ryder, right place, right time for Binghamton. And in this semifinal matchup, the Bearcats strike first.
Yeah, Mackenzie Ryder was left all alone out in front. Wildcats had an opportunity to clear the line right there, but it was kept in by Isabella Martillo, inserted into the starting lineup today, and a wonderful crossing pass. Martillo started the game on the bench, was one of basically 3 subs that were used by Binghamton, but a nice deflection on the one time by Mackenzie Ryder.
Isabella Martillo becoming such a major part of this Binghamton offense. At no points until the last 2 games of the regular season when she scored a goal in each of them. Now an assist in this game as Mackenzie Ryder finds the back of the net. Her 7th goal of the campaign. For someone that anchors their offense, we talk so much about Nemus, but Ryder has played the most minutes amongst all forwards this year for Binghamton. Over 1,400 this year. And she was on the near post all alone, and to put it past Rainey and put Binghamton on top 1-0, the 3 seed, 10 minutes in to our opening half.
All right, a little bit of a hole for the Wildcats. A long way to go, obviously. We're only about 10 minutes into this game. But Wildcats hope that they wouldn't find themselves down, but you got to make sure you take care of that marking in the box when those crosses come in.
A good start for Binghamton, who again did not score until penalty kicks in their quarterfinal win over Vermont. Head coach Neil Bhattacharjee called it survive in advance, and when you look at the numbers from that game, that's really what Binghamton did. They were outshot by Vermont 17-8. In terms of shot on goals, they were outshot on goals 7-3, but got it to penalty kicks, and they won the penalty kick round 3-2 to get here. As you take a look at head coach Neil Bhattacharjee, his 9th season at the helm, a couple of regular season titles, undefeated conference season a year ago. He's won 3 regular season championships. Binghamton has not won the conference tournament since 2004. So the Bearcats coming off back-to-back regular season titles. This year, try to get over the hump as the 3 seed in this tournament to get back to the NCAA tournament.
Now the Wildcats right now are going to have to ride this wave of emotion that the Bearcats have. They're going strong, hard to the ball. UNH has been a little sloppy with some of the initial touches they've had. Just saw an opportunity, a play by the goalkeeper, Sally Rainey, and she just left it out a little too far and then had to scramble to try to get it to a teammate out by the sideline and knocked it out of bounds. So those little things, is that the rust that we always like to talk about up here in the booth? Rest versus rust.
That's the grave debate. Any sport, any playoff bracket,
and any coach will tell you after the game is over what it was.
Binghamton on top by a goal. Doesn't, take the pressure off, but it is definitely something that relaxes the Bearcats. Coming into a hostile environment against a New Hampshire team that ended their season back in 2022. Now a lead here early, trying to get back to Ryder. It's kicked away. Now a physical play and a takeaway. Rolling to Williams, who makes the stop in net for Binghamton. Mackenzie Ryder's goal in the 9th minute is the difference right now, as the 3rd-seeded Bearcats on top of the 2nd-seeded Wildcats in the first half here at Wildcat Stadium. And a Buckwalter, the rookie of the year in the conference, number 10 out there for Binghamton, a touch to the near side. as the Bearcats continue to control it until they do not. UNH trying to flip the field. But going to pass right back onto a Binghamton foot, intercepted by Sophia Garofalo, a first-team pick in the conference on defense for Binghamton.
Yeah, UNH will serve themselves well if they don't rush it and try to go so long and get the goal back, with a big, quick one. They're going to have to get that build-up going, search out their points of attack, and make some passing combinations work.
Venus onside, centering feed headed away. Out to the near side.
Keep an eye, too, on the physicality of this game. When these two teams played in the regular season, Binghamton outfouled UNH 18-6. That's a 3-1 margin. That's a lot of ice bags.
Early, 2 fouls to none. New Hampshire has committed both of them. Binghamton, a physical team, had 3 yellow cards in their game against Vermont on Saturday. So they're not afraid to get a bit chippy. Of course, in postseason soccer, you know the physicality goes up a couple of notches.
Yep. Yeah, maybe the referees also let a little bit more go than they would in a regular season game. Of course, they don't want to let it get out of hand and let it get too physical, too cheap, too dirty. But they're probably going to allow a little more physicality.
The old adage, too, you want the players to play right there.
That's right, yeah.
Here for a reason, let them play. Of course, nothing egregious will go uncalled. Giovino, who scored the lone goal for New Hampshire in that win against Binghamton. Now a far side feed is incomplete. Too strong off the foot of Garenti. And Binghamton will take it back.
Yeah, that's a nice creative idea by Garenti. She knows she's going to be physical off the play. She had her back to the goal, made nice possession there, and looked for a little through ball, but just too far advanced of Elizabeth Finn.
Trying to find Finn, who leads the team in assists on the season, tied with the team high with 3. Sophomore from Scituate, Mass.
Now Finn's got a rocket of a shot too. We've seen it numerous times this year.
Another foul called against New Hampshire. Midfield free kick coming here for Binghamton. On top by a goal. More than 16 minutes gone by in the opening half for this America East Championship semifinal. Glad you're with us. Pete Webster, Calvin Cristoforo, our team here at New Hampshire. Second-seeded Wildcats trying to get back to the conference title game for the first time since 2022 when they won it, beating Binghamton. For the Wildcats, it would be their 5th ever appearance in the America East title game. They are 2-2 in those contests. Binghamton also would be going there for the 5th time. They're 1-3 in conference championship appearances. Garenti around 2 Binghamton defenders, working it herself in the near side. Looking for a centering feed, only Binghamton jerseys there. And it's punted out towards the near side.
Yeah, you got to get some runners going through the box at an angle, or even a little bended run towards the near post.
Castorina's knocked down, and a foul called here against Binghamton. And a free kick from a pretty good spot coming for New Hampshire, just outside the 18 on the near side.
Yeah, this will be a critical one here, a critical kick. A little bit farther outside the box than Binghamton had earlier in the first half.
And Hewlett will take it. She took the corner kick. This is a little bit closer than a corner kick.
Look at the numbers in the box. 7.
Hewlett chips it there, looking for a deflection, kicked out top. And it's outside of the 18. Binghamton clears a really good free kick chance for New Hampshire. De La Cruz keeps the play alive. Trying to find Garenti far side. You can see Binghamton very careful with her. Tries to get a lefty strike on net, knocked down, and kicked back up top to Loge. Garenti will get a corner kick here for New Hampshire.
Yeah, some great plays in there by Garenti just a second ago. She brought down a tough ball and put it right at her foot, tried to line up the left-footed shot. This one here, she knows the defender's right there and stands a good chance of getting a corner if she knocks it off her, and that's what she's earned.
Hewlett again to take the corner kick. Her second of the evening, a substitute entering. Is Abby Meyer, who had that game-winning penalty kick goal against Binghamton in the 2022 conference title game. She will enter on this Hewlett corner kick coming near side.
I think that ball just got away and hit a Wildcat in the arm. I like the pace of the corner kick, though. Let's drill it in there in the box and let's pinball it around.
Let's see what happens, right? Looking for a reflection in that Hewlett corner. New Hampshire said 2.5 corners, the 2 real ones, and the 1 free kick from just outside the 18. The corner as well. Binghamton content to work back to Caitlin Williams, their veteran goaltender. Senior from Clinton, New York, who's had a very decorated career for Binghamton. Under 1 goals against average this year, allowing just 12 goals in her 12 starts, 15 games played. This is her 42nd career start.
Well, she earned the shutout in the quarterfinal game or the prelim game, whatever you want to call it, but she didn't play the shootout, which was really interesting. Her backup came in and played the shootout, and of course we know Binghamton won.
Hey, Rebecca Kessler came off the bench. Cold, essentially,
cold,
in that penalty kick shootout after Williams played the entire game. But Coach Bhattacharjee knows his team. Went to Kessler, the sophomore, who got the job done as Binghamton won that shootout 3-2.
Yeah, that's come from doing it. A lot of observation, a lot of those end of the practice drills where players take PKs. And you always prepare for that, especially going down towards the end of the year when you know the playoffs are here. And, he might have just saw something. Maybe they had it already worked out that that's how they were going to run it. But it worked for them as they took down the Vermont Catamounts, and here they are, the number 3 seed playing UNH.
Getting back to Williams, we're in the business of telling you what's happening, not predicting what's going to happen. But just to be curious if that would happen again, if Binghamton would get back to that point.
Yeah.
In terms of the goaltender switch.
Well, it would certainly take UNH to score a goal. But UNH certainly capable of doing it, especially when you have players like Megan Garante. And I'd really love to see Delaney Lappin get in the scoring column. Lappin came over from Drexel, a lot of points in her career playing for Drexel. And she's been a great addition in this team. Got off to a wonderful start.
Second in the team with 4 goals this year for the former Drexel Dragon.
Yeah, couple that with 3 assists as well. I always love those players who can score and assist.
Binghamton's got one of those in Hannah Mimas, who we touched on earlier. 7 goals and 8 assists for a conference best. As they approach the halfway point in the opening half in a 1-0 game in favor of Binghamton. On the goal by Mackenzie Ryder in the 9th minute on a beautiful pass across by Isabella Martillo.
Yeah, see right there, there was one of those passes. Maybe just a little too ambitious, too early to start doing some of those long stretch passes. Maybe just want to develop the play a little bit more with 22 minutes plus left in the first half and a whole second half in front of us.
Meyer will toss it in far side here for New Hampshire. There is Lappin a touch, right back to Meyer. Tough defense from Megan Baker on the backhand side of the defensive unit for Binghamton. Meyer trying to center a pass. This is kicked out. Is it a corner or a throw-in? It is a...
I don't know. They haven't signaled here. It's a throw-in. It's got to be a throw-in. Yeah. I didn't know if it ticked off the Wildcat leg.
Hit off the foot of Sophia Garofalo, a First team all-conference pick for Binghamton this year, the sophomore, who has played in all but 28 minutes of this year for the Bearcats. In her career, since she got foot on campus, she has sat on the bench for a total of 66 minutes across 2 seasons. It's a header towards Cage, and it misses just wide of the near side.
Well, point of attack down the left wing side. The Cats get the good service. They put one of their bigs up there in the box. Here's the good header. Nice rise by Megan Logue.
Logue, a Central Michigan transfer, her second season here in Durham. Her head coach said she's dominant in the air, and you saw that flight. Trying to knock a ball towards the net. New Hampshire with some offensive momentum, trailing by a goal. Hewlett centering a feed, looking for another header, but a Binghamton noggin gets there first, and it's kicked out of the attacking box for the Wildcats.
Yes, great work over here on the right wing side this time to create it. Garante getting around her fellow number 19. Here she goes again.
Garante marked by at least one Bearcat every time she touches it. As De La Cruz far side drops her defender, keeps it in, centers a pass, coming near side. Hewlett had too much on her pass towards the center of the box, and Mimes kicks it away for Binghamton. Logue back playing it far side for the Wildcats. Meyer splits 2 defenders but can't get by the third. For New Hampshire, who had been on their heels the opening 15 minutes or so, this is a good offensive push here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it's been, 6 or 7 minutes of all UNH action. Bearcats, I don't get the sense they're sitting back just trying to protect the home fort, but they haven't strung 2 or 3 passes together here in quite a few minutes.
Room for Binghamton to clear. Foul ball goes far side. Marcillo runs it down in those bright green cleats for Binghamton. Bearcats trying to flip the field with Baker, who can play both forward and defense for Binghamton. Getting a throw in on the far side.
Yeah, Binghamton found a little bit of extra space over there on the right side. I think there were a few Wildcats that had been pressing up offensively that might have just been winded a little bit. It needed at least one player to get back and fill that gap a little bit more.
Bella Brown checks in for Binghamton, sophomore from just outside of Philly. Williams is unshy of attacking balls well outside her net. Picks that one to the far side, now is to retreat. "18 minutes to go in the first half. 1-0 Binghamton on top. A challenging third seed in this tournament, who was picked to finish second in the America East preseason poll. These two teams are picked to finish second and third, but they flipped order in what the final standings were. Binghamton was picked second, New Hampshire third. New Hampshire the second seed, Binghamton the third seed.
I
When
guess
it was all said and done.
the reigning regular season champions, I guess, would be up there. I guess a lot of people felt Maine was a strong enough team to be up there in #1 spot. Yeah, those preseason polls, a lot of that is based on where you were last year, and now with the transfer portal, you really can't predict where everybody's going to be. It's really difficult for coaches just to try to figure out what their team is going to be.
It's a foul inside the attacking 40 here for Binghamton. Foul on New Hampshire. You don't know. And other coaches don't know what you're going to be either. And those are the teams and the people voting on those polls.
You know, I was watching UNH basketball last night. They have only 3 returning players from last year.
Crazy.
Just a new wave comes on in.
The thing with Binghamton, though, you look up and down their roster, only 1 transfer on this Bearcat team. This one into the 18. Ryder gets a head on it. This is out. But on the near side, really good defensive play coming back to make sure that was not a corner kick. Defensive effort by Allison Falvo to make sure this is a throw-in for Binghamton. Or check that, that was Megan Garenti on defense, the other 19 on the field. Falvo was the one that tossed it in for Binghamton, and a foul called against the Bearcats.
Still keeping an eye on the game up in Orono. It's still 1-0. We're about at the same time. Both 6 p.m. starts.
Top-seeded Black Bears, the 4th-seeded Riverhawks. UMass Lowell, just like New Hampshire, trying to find the equalizer. This one comes wide to the far post. Sub incoming here for Binghamton. That is Jakea Davis, a all-rookie team pick in the conference, the freshman from Ontario. Another Bearcat that has come on strong as of late. Had her 2 best games in terms of statistics to end the regular season. Gaining some traction into the playoffs.
I scored 5 goals this year. It's a pretty good amount. That's what you want to bring in off the bench. Somebody who's got experience putting the ball home.
New Hampshire trying to do that themselves. 2/3 of the way gone by in half one. Another foul called against Binghamton. Can certainly see why this Bearcat team has some high foul numbers across their games this year. Very physical as Anna Buckwalter's looking for an explanation. Foul, I don't believe is on her though. It's on Bella Brown.
Right.
Elizabeth Finn goes down. Hewlett chips this in, and Binghamton immediately gets it right back out.
Yeah, you have to. You want to keep the pressure on. You have to win the knockdown. You might not win the header, but win the second ball. That's very crucial.
That one's out up a Bearcat. Another corner here coming for New Hampshire.
Wildcat corner kick number 6.
This will be their 3rd corner of the day. First one coming on the far side. Hewlett takes the majority of the corner kicks. And the free kicks here for the Wildcats will take it far side. We're on the captain's armband for the 5th-year starter from the Rochester, New York area. In swinging ball coming far side. In the air, a good ball knocked down by Williams. And Binghamton clears.
Yeah, I'm so impressed that UNH will put 7 players deep in the box. They only have 2 players outside the box, and then the corner kick taker. So every available player pretty much is active in the box.
Myers right back in the box for the Wildcats. Garenti centers a feed, looking for a tip, back post strike for a score! Elizabeth Finn on a pretty pass by Garenti ties us at 1 with 13 to go in half one.
Well, I mentioned something about her having a rocket of a shot. She just showed us. Great timing, left peg, just blasted it home. Great cross by the Wildcats. Look at that, getting through everybody. There was a little tip in there, and I think that was the goalkeeper. Nice little diagonal pass out. Here's Garenti. Hit something or someone inside, and Finn with the blast.
Get a radar gun on that for Elizabeth Finn, her 2nd goal of the campaign. The sophomore, known for her passing, but as a rocket shot like that, going to be known for her scoring more and more as her career goes on. And a big goal here in the 31st minute as New Hampshire has tied it in the opening 45.
Again, I think the key to that play was that little diagonal pass by Abby Meyer. to free up Garenti and have no problem whipping across in there.
We've seen two really good crosses for 2 goals in this game. First in the 9th minute, Martillo found Ryder on a cross coming far side to near. This time the opposite. On a near side, a far pass coming from Garenti. Just her 2nd assist of the season for the striker of the year of the conference with double-digit goals, 10 of them. This time doing the distributing to find Finn, who puts home her 2nd goal of the campaign to tie us at 1, with now 12 to go in half one.
Yeah, I think Garenti just kind of makes a little statement saying, hey, you're going to mark me 1 or 2 players. Yeah, well, I'm going to be the distributor here and set up my teammates, and that was a beauty.
Here's Garenti again, trying to find room near side. You can see the 2 Binghamton jerseys coming to surround her. Brooke Herber, who's been around the block, takes one towards the cheerleaders. You see that stat, 10 of the last 11 games between these teams decided by 1 goal. And this is where we sit. We knew we'd be in for a tight one, especially looking at these 2 teams playing in the postseason. All 1-goal games in their postseason matchups. This is the 7th meeting in the playoffs. 5 came in the quarterfinals. 1 in the 2022 championship game. This is the first conference semifinal game between New Hampshire and Binghamton. And we're tied at 1 in what has been a fun up and down opening half.
Well, I think, this just reflects the 2 quality coaches that you have here. Steve Wellham for the Wildcats, 11th season, and Neil Bhattacharjee has just turned this program around, and what is this, his 9th season, and has a winning record in those 9 seasons. They both have done a fantastic job of getting their teams to the upper echelon. Of course, Binghamton looking for their first tournament victory. Wildcats had one a couple of years ago. Nothing like winning that tournament. Long way to go.
It's a centering feed and a shot missing just wide. Good chance in front for Meyer. Of course, the hero in that championship game back in 2022. Trying to get this one on net.
Yeah, look at that turn. That was such a nice turn. Good defensive play to knock it past the post.
Consolation prize is this corner kick coming for Hewlett, her 4th of the opening half. Back boxed again here for New Hampshire as Hewlett sends one airborne. Knocked down by Williams, and a whistle comes in, giving possession back to Binghamton.
Yeah, even though the Wildcats put it in the net, doesn't count, and once the whistle blew, you knew the Bearcats relaxed a little bit, so that shot never happened.
Davis trying to get some momentum back for Binghamton, who was the better team in the first 15 minutes or so, but since then it's all been New Hampshire. In the 20 or so minutes since, the game-tying strike coming off the foot of Finn on the feed by Garenti. With now 9 to go, New Hampshire tries to find their first lead.
I really like watching Megan Garenti play down this right flank. It's one of the forwards, plays primarily on the right side, and she's able to stop on a dime. She's able to create give and goes down the wing, and she's able to beat defenders one-on-one down the wing as well.
So dangerous for the striker of the year in the conference. Binghamton's looking for a strike. It's been a quiet net for Sally Rainey since the Bearcats scored in the 9th minute. And again, nothing going really offensively for Binghamton. Rainey will get, though, in the action here. They like when she directs traffic, very vocal in her net. Described by her teammates as the team mom on this team. Always communicating, directing traffic. And will punt it ahead here for the Wildcats. Garenti trying to win the race to it. Surrounded by Binghamton jerseys. Dalbo near sides controls for Binghamton. Give and go play. Garenti trying to win the race to it. She does not. Garofalo does for Binghamton, one of the stalwarts of their defense. As a sub will come in for New Hampshire.
Yeah, tale of two teams right there in that little play. Binghamton has the ball, and they try a little pass, and it goes right to the foot of a Wildcat. Wildcats get it. They try a give and go down the wing with Garente. It doesn't connect, but it forces Binghamton to kick it out of bounds, and the Cats have a throw-in. So pressure versus no pressure, just with a little subtlety.
Well, it goes back to this, and we can circle back here to that rest versus rust. I think we saw the rust in the opening 15 minutes, and we've seen the rest now in the last 20 minutes or so.
Sure, rust and nerves. Obviously, it's the playoffs. Wildcat bench getting fired up over there with a nice stuff.
Jackets on down there. Not as warm as it's been. Temperature is more seasonable.
I'm going to dip a little bit tonight. If you're listening and you're not from New England, it's been balmy the last 2 days, but we're looking at a little bit of a chill coming down tonight. Our friends from Canada giving us a little breeze.
Couple of Canadians on this Binghamton roster. One being Jakea Davis, who's out there right now. Trying to get the offense back started for the Bearcats in the final 6 minutes of this first half. Here is Davis, a touch, trying to work around some tough defense. That one is ushered out. Defense by Castorina.
We have pairing up over here on this right wing side. Megan Garanti, number 19. Her fellow number 19, Allison Falvo, is the one who's been doing most of the marking up. She's doing some chasing right now.
Garanti flipping field, though. Here she comes left to right. Can't get around the defense, though, of Herber. They find 19, though, once again, quarterbacking this New Hampshire offense. As the assist on the Wildcat goal in this game, finished off by Finn. Rolling it to Williams, she mishandles it loose, and she recovers. Madison Donati running net front right at her as she bobbled this and nearly was all alone with an open net.
I remember going back to the beginning of the year, Delaney Lappin scored a goal like that at Louisville.
New Hampshire continuing to keep the pressure on. Physical play in the 18, no whistle. And they're letting them play until, I guess they're not. Here's a foul coming in on Herber, who pushed down a couple of Wildcats in her quest to retrieve the ball.
Yeah, back in the third week in August, the Wildcats went out to Kentucky to play Louisville, and Louisville was the better team, was all over them, but the Wildcats took advantage of a goalkeeper miscue. Delaney Lappin put it home for the only shot of the game for the Wildcats, and they leave with a 1-1 tie. So you got to stay there. You got to stay on it. You got to anticipate that the goalie might muff it.
14 fouls combined in this opening half, 7 for each team. Here's a free kick coming for New Hampshire, 40 yards away from straight on. Hewlett again takes it, looking for a set-piece play, but Binghamton ready. UNH has been very good on set pieces this year. Sure, it's part of the Binghamton scouting report to try to limit those chances. Good job there, knowing a set play was coming and defending it properly to kick it out towards the midfield. New Hampshire, though, continuing on attack.
I think I was hoping Megan Logie was going to be a little more selfish with that. She tried the through pass. I think maybe a little step over left, go to the right, and you might have that extra couple of feet to shoot. She was in good shooting range.
Garenti, again a feed cross court, or field, that is. The diving play by Williams and net, who is giving directions to her teammates. Basketball season, crossover season. Crossfield pass for Garenti, held in by Williams. Just like her counterpart, directing traffic here in net for Binghamton.
You see Williams, she's wearing a green jersey, and the teammates' uniforms are dark green. I guess that's enough of a discrepancy with those uniforms. The goalkeeper has to wear a different color, or at least a deep enough different shade. If you look at Rainey for the Wildcats, she has a red jersey on.
Yeah, you can see Rainey up in Concord.
Yeah.
With her bright red jersey on.
I did the men's game a couple nights ago, and the Wildcat goalie was wearing pink, bright pink. Yeah, there was no way you could miss him out there. It was almost scary.
New Hampshire on attack. Foul coming just at the left elbow of the 18. Another good free kick chance here coming for New Hampshire as the clock stops with 100 seconds to go in the opening half. That was Baker the guilty party as he was trying to defend Meyer. Binghamton averages 11 fouls per game, second most in the conference. They have 8 already tonight, with 1:40 to go in the first half.
The Wildcats trying to read what the defense is going to give them here.
Another set-piece play orchestrated by Hewlett. Coming in far side, Hewlett airborne. Near side strike does not get on. And Binghamton clears the 18 once again. Right back in though, here's a chance, and there's a score! Abby Meyer knows something about scoring against Binghamton in the postseason. On the re-entry, she is there, and the Wildcats are on top.
Well, this team is certainly making a lot of noise in the sideline before this happened. But watch this ball come out, and look at it was Logie that chased it down with a couple of good touches of it, and then it got chipped back in. Onside was Abby Meyer, and she just blasted it home right over the head of Caitlin Williams. 2-0 Wildcats.
Fourth of the year for Abby Meyer. Someone described as rising to the challenge. When the lights are brightest, Meyer is ready. A goal in the America East title game to put New Hampshire in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. And her goal in the final 90 seconds in this America East semifinal 2 years later has New Hampshire on top for the first time tonight. Goals in the 31st and 43rd minutes for New Hampshire have the Wildcats on top 2-1. And for the conference's best defense, 2 goals is almost always enough this year. UNH has won a couple of games 3-2, but they've limited opponents to 1 goal or fewer in 13 of their 16 games this year.
Yeah, they've only given up 2 goals 3 times. But, you know, they have to expect that Binghamton will throw everything at them. And look at this through ball, 4 Wildcat players almost in a flat back 4 formation. Wildcats would love to just take this lead right into halftime now with under 20 seconds to play.
And Rainey certainly taking her time. It was Elizabeth Finn who scored the first goal of the game.
Yeah.
That had that beautiful re-entry as the ball kicked out of the 18. Back to the doorstep for Meyer, who was ready. And a bullet to put New Hampshire on top by a goal at the break. Great pass from Finn to Meyer as New Hampshire now on top. As we're underway in half number 2 from Wildcat Stadium. Glad you're with us in this America East Championship semifinal with Pete Webster. I'm Calvin Cristoforo, our team here at New Hampshire. Bringing to this one on ESPN Plus. One of these 2 teams will go to the America East title game on Sunday to face the winner of Maine and Lowell. Right now the Black Bears on top of the Riverhawks 1-0 in Orono. If that score holds and Maine wins, the title game will be in Orono. If UMass Lowell comes back to win that game, the winner of this game will host the conference championship game coming up on Sunday afternoon.
I know it'd be great for the Wildcats to host here, but they're going to need some help from UMass Lowell.
Here comes New Hampshire looking for their largest lead of the day. But a shot, though, missing wide by Garenti, who just saw some green grass ahead of her. She hadn't had that much space all night long. Figured, hey, no one's around me, I'll shoot this. But she missed it wide of the near side.
And she had Abby Meyer over the left flank, just kind of waving a little bit. She was wide open. But you can't fault Garenti for taking that shot. If she sees it, she sniffs it out. Let her ride.
Binghamton definitely taking their time on this goal kick, and they finally get it off. Knocked right back in the offensive zone for New Hampshire. Here is Finn, who's got a goal and an assist tonight. Working on the defense by Garofalo, a first-team all-conference pick on defense for the Bearcats, who kicks it out towards the near side.
Nice attempt at a dummy there by Delaney Lappin. Thought she might be able to gain some space by letting it roll. I see basically a triangle formation with the Wildcats 3 forwards. Delaney Lappin will be at the top. And you'll have Megan Garenti fading back a little bit on the right side. And Abby Meyer on the left side, pretty much forming a triangle.
It was Meyer again. Not able to get around Garofalo. New Hampshire now from the backside trying to bring it back in. Castorina is depossessed by a Bearcat, but New Hampshire controls possession. This was a lot of what we saw to end that first half, which finished with New Hampshire controlling the possession 54% of the time. Probably closer to 60% if you only do the final 30 minutes of that half.
Yeah.
With Binghamton controlling for a large majority in the opening 15. Bearcats trying to find that footing once again. New Hampshire certainly with the momentum, continuing to put pressure on the third seed Bearcats, coming off a victory in their quarterfinal game against Vermont, a penalty kick win. A game that was scoreless all the way until PKs. They won it 3-2 in the penalty kick session. Meanwhile, New Hampshire, of course, as one of the top 2 seeds a bye to get here before this meeting against Binghamton. This is their first game since Halloween on last Wednesday.
One stat that really stood out to me in the first half was there were no saves by either goalkeeper. Just 3 shots on net. The Wildcats had 2. They both went in, and Bearcats had a shot on net, and it went in.
All really tough shots to save.
Oh, yeah.
They were all kind of right in front rockets. Both goaltenders put on an island. But that's interesting. No saves in the opening 45 minutes for 2 really good goaltenders. Williams, a veteran in net for Binghamton. Rainey, the 2-time conference goaltender of the year. Meyer trying to get something back going. Kicked out of the box by Baker for Binghamton. And the Bearcats again on their heels in the first 4 minutes of the second half. Trying to keep this a 1-goal game to give themselves a chance against the conference's best defense, one of the best defenses in the country. As Baker is down, slow to her feet, inside the box for Binghamton. Sophomore from Jamesville, DeWitt. Tied for the team high amongst freshman in goals, also though plays defense. She will try to walk this one off and stay in, certainly in some pain. Let's see what happened as she's playing defense here on Meyer. She might get kicked.
Yep, just kicked, so it's a little bit of a knock, and she's hoping that will wear off a little bit.
Still limping a bit, and now has to fend off Meyer on the near side. Far side, the Wildcats control. Good defense coming around by Falvo, who's been a part of the mix on both offense and defense for the Bearcats tonight. Buckwalter trying to flip field here for Binghamton. Kolb makes sure that doesn't happen, and here's Garenti from the far side. A strike is knocked away. Garofalo coming over to leap in the way of that one, as Garenti's gotten 2 good scoring chances in his second half.
Yeah, that was Abby Meyer was lurking towards the back post, and she had that hobbled player, Megan Baker, marking on her. Baker's still out there. Might want to exploit that if she's still limping out there. She's trying to mark up on Delaney Lappin right now.
Meanwhile, Hewlett will take the 5th corner kick for New Hampshire. 5-0 in terms of corners. Into the box is a header, and he misses just wide of this near post. Really good corner chance for New Hampshire, as Lydia Poulin got a noggin on it but could not get it on net.
Yeah, header looking for the back post. There were 2 Bearcats right there by the post. And smartly, one of the players on the post grabbing the netting there to make sure nothing leaks between her and the post.
New Hampshire, though, 5 corner kicks. Binghamton doesn't have one. Garofalo trying to get the Binghamton offense going. That pass is complete, as Clark ahead of the pack had it for a second, but then lost it, and New Hampshire takes it back. De La Cruz turns it over. Buckwalter, her touch is too strong, and again back towards the midfield.
I think there was a little miscommunication there. Nobody telling De La Cruz, don't cut that ball back to your left. There's a player right there. Could have been costly, but turns out not to be.
Garenti navigating. Wins the race to it in the corner. Crossing feed, Williams out to scoop it up for Binghamton. Of course, under more pressure that time was Garenti, but her centering pass to Finn in the first half put New Hampshire on the board.
Yeah, I think, too, the last foray down the field for Binghamton, you start thinking, well, all they need is one opportunity to tie this up. So Wildcats would do themselves well to connect on something and get it up to a 2-goal margin.
It's a midfield collision. Immediately, Logue and Clark both go down. I think they both bumped heads.
Yeah, the referee has called for trainers to come out. They don't like to take any chances now with head injuries. Let's get to see this one. Yeah, just a little bit from behind.
So Logue will come out of this game. Ouch.
I think she might have to be beckoned back in. She's not out for good, or is she being subbed? Yeah, she is being subbed, and she doesn't like it over there. Why do I have to come out? Because, yeah, she's been an integral part of this game here today.
Lily Johnson will enter.
Just love that play that she made on the second goal to track it down, to tip it back to Finn for the next play in which the Cats scored on.
Lauren Clark also is forced to come out. Alexis Worrell will enter. So Clark, who was getting her nose checked, maybe a bloody nose for Clark. So the 2 players involved in that collision both exit. Seven and a half gone by, second half, New Hampshire on top, 2-1. On a strike in the 43rd minute off the foot of Meyer, which went from Logue to Finn to Meyer. No hockey assist credited to Logue. Played back to Williams here for Binghamton. New Hampshire continuing to be the pressuring team in this second half.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Steve Wellham will put that on the video screen when he's showing all the players. Here's the key part to this play.
11th season for head coach Steve Wellham. winning records in 4 of his last 5 campaigns. His team's winning total of 11 matches the most in his tenure from his 2017 season. Trying to get the Wildcats back to the conference title game, which they won back in 2022. We'll let this one roll to the near side. Coach Wellham has 2 conference titles in his career here in New Hampshire, back in 2012 and 2022, and he beat this team 3 shots to 2 in penalty kicks after a 4-4 tie in regulation in the 2 overtime sessions. Was a quick exit for Logue. She's back in. Johnson will head back out for New Hampshire. Of course, the winner of this game will face the winner of the game going on right now about 3 hours north, maybe 3:30 in Orono between Maine and UMass Lowell.
Yeah, Megan Logue is a player you don't want to have out of the lineup if you can have her in there. It's all patched up. Right back in there, central defense. She's organizing.
On this free kick opportunity for Binghamton, a rare set piece play here for the Bearcats, who have not had these chances so far in this game in high quantities. Garofalo will enter on this near side for Binghamton. Striking it towards the back post. It's knocked down, kicked aside, and kicked out for a Bearcat corner kick, their first of the contests. Logue, back in the game, was the one that cleared this out past the goal line.
Yeah, and that was right at that spot in that gray area where it's indecisive for a goalie to come out. You know, do you come out? Do you stay in? If you come out, you have to make sure you get a good chunk of it and deflect it out.
So here in the 51st minute, first corner kick for Binghamton. Buckwalter will take it, not a ton on it, and New Hampshire will clear it rather easily. This is the 56th minute, that is, first corner kick for the Bearcats. Buckwalter trying to win it back. Good box-out defense by Castorina.
Yeah, and that free kick, you noticed almost all the Bearcats were up there in the box, and the goalkeeper was 40 yards out.
We're talking about New Hampshire parking the bus on the offensive 18 when they take corner kicks. Binghamton uber aggressive as well, as they know it's going to take a lot to get another goal against New Hampshire. Only 3 times this year has New Hampshire opponents scored more than 1 goal against them in a game. And New Hampshire is 2-1 in those games. They beat Holy Cross back in August 3-2, the same against UMBC in late October. They did lose 2-0 on the road at Lowell. Handball there as it came up on the goal scorer for Binghamton, Mackenzie Ryder, whose strike in the 9th minute put the Bearcats on top 1-0. That lead, of course, has since been erased on goals by Finn and Meyer for New Hampshire.
And we know the Bearcats can score goals. Number 2 goal-scoring team in America East. 6 times they've scored 3 or more this year. And that's what it would take for them to get a victory here while keeping the Wildcats scoreless the rest of the way. So they can put the ball in the net. So the Wildcats have to be, I'm sure they're aware of that.
Playoff grit for Lauren Clark, who's back into the game with that nose plugged up. Some blood still under her nostrils. She is in there, though, for Binghamton, the junior from Manlius, New York. Trying to get the Bearcats back on the scoreboard. Megan Baker also gutting it out through injury that she sustained earlier in this half. Those two try to connect, pass them intercepted. Binghamton, though, does control. Encouraging signs here for the Bearcats, as they've had some more offensive footing in this stretch of play than they had in the final 25 minutes or so in that first half.
Yeah, I attribute a lot of that to the Wildcats' clearances are going right to Bearcat players.
Binghamton trying to get it back in the offensive zone. A hierarchy pass by Castorina. Ryder trying to knock it down far side. Haven't seen Mimas in a while. There she is. Nearly a touch. Ryder out of the air strikes one, and she missed it near side. Out of the sky, it came soaring down. Good contact from Ryder, and a corner kick is the consolation prize here for Binghamton.
Yeah, the Bearcats really stay on it. There's a little missed header right there, and they're next on that loose ball. It's a flex. I think that might have been going a little bit wide, but it would have been right there close. And Bearcats are in a corner.
Yeah, Poulin got a head on that. Buckwalter here will take this corner kick for Binghamton, trying for the equalizer. Buckwalter gets it back. Another centering feed. And again, not on net. New Hampshire trying to clear, and they do. Binghamton, though, with their first two corner kicks of the game coming in the last 5 minutes. And Ryder has the best scoring opportunity for the Bearcats since she scored that goal in the first half. With tempo, here comes Falvo. Racing towards net, out of control. Good defense on the help by Hewlett, who's been all over the field for New Hampshire. And a goal kick coming for the goaltender of the year in this conference, Sally Rainey.
Now that might be what the Wildcats need right here, to reorganize, to get their shape back, get a long kick going here, win the ball, push it up forward, get some good touches of the ball, some good passing.
Maybe small, but in a game like this between two really competitive teams, you look for nuances. The wind is blowing left to right, so in the direction that Binghamton's attacking in, they are attacking with the wind at their back. It's not a 50-mile-per-hour wind, but it's steady, blowing with the Bearcat offensive attack. Something to keep in mind here for Binghamton as they try for the equalizer. Here's Baker, knocked off her mark by Meyer coming from behind. Still knocks it towards the center, where New Hampshire scrambles to clear. Initially they can't. Shot that was errant, coming wide off the foot of Clark. And a second straight goal kick upcoming for Rainey.
Yeah, this is one of those funks the Wildcats are in here that drive coach is crazy. There's no written script of how to get out of one of these funks when clearing passes are going off the side of feet and only going about 5 yards, maybe 10, and all your clearances are actually going to the team in green.
New Hampshire has outshot Binghamton in this game at 10-4. Again, 3 shots on goal but combined between these two teams, and they've all gone in the goal. No saves for either goaltender. Here's Mimas coming back towards the center for Binghamton. Her shot gets knocked down. Looking for a redirection. Cleared for the time being. Bearcats keeping the pressure on. Trying to find a game-tying goal to keep their season alive. Baker knocked down, still loose, pinballing around. And it rolls towards the far corner. Or who else but Garenzi runs it down for the Wildcats.
I think the Wildcats would like to take a timeout here, but, well, it's soccer. You can, but, yeah, they're just discombobulated defensively. And with every ball going upfield, it's going right to a Bearcat.
This is a really encouraging Binghamton push. Finn trying to change that. Pass up ahead to Lappin. Running 1-on-2. Lappin slow with it. Help near side. Never got to her intended target as Meyer had her arm up looking for the pass on the near side. But the Bearcats collapsing back. Do not let that one get through.
Yeah, UNH now has to get their shape, get their midfielders positioned well against the midfielders of Binghamton.
This one rolls to Rainey. Poulin was guarding the ball, making sure that it does go to her netminder. And Rainey, who had a goals against average in the regular season of .63. She was the goaltender of the year in the conference last year. And her goals against average this year went down by nearly 0.2 of a point. Just remarkable for the netminder, who has 9 shutouts on the season, the most in the conference, by a goaltender, and more than any other team. Of course, he's played every game for New Hampshire, only goaltender to see time this year. It's the senior Rainey trying to keep her season alive. Finn has a goal and an assist. Play to the near side does Meyer. Green grass for her. Meyer 1-on-2. This is out off a Bearcat. And a corner kick coming for New Hampshire as the Wildcats try to stop the Binghamton offensive rhythm with some chances of their own.
Yeah, watch some of this passing here that the Wildcats did. Look at that nice little diagonal pass to Meyer. She tries just a little left, right foot outside poke to get that into the danger zone. But it took some really good passing for the Wildcats to get that force going upfield.
Sixth corner kick for Anna Hewlett. This one coming on the near side with the Bearcats perched up on the far side. She moves the rug, which is protecting cords down there, before setting up and striking. Top of the box it goes. Kick back in, and Binghamton lets it rolled out untouched. New Hampshire doesn't have officially a goal off a corner kick tonight, but that scramble when Finn sent it back into the box for the second goal off of Meyer's foot, that came after a Binghamton corner kick clearance, but New Hampshire got it right back in and scored.
Can't understand why Binghamton is taking so much time off the clock.
Especially trailing in this game by a 2-1 tally against what has been the best defense in the conference, a top 15 defense in the country in New Hampshire, allowing just 10 goals in their 16 regular season games. Meyer, who's provided a spark off the bench, of course, scoring the go-ahead goal in this game. Controlling there. Here's this one coming in, and it's kicked out from behind. Delaney Lappin, who you were looking for some more offensive chances for, nearly ahead of the pack. Garofalo coming from behind knocks it away, but a corner coming again for New Hampshire.
Yeah, that was an outstanding angle that Garofalo played on that. Looked like Lappin, I'm not sure she got anything on that it was all Garofalo that actually got the angle, knocked it out of bounds.
So here's Hewlett, again striking this corner. And Binghamton rather easily clears this time. Bearcats, though, can't get it upfield. De La Cruz keeps it in, sends one towards Lappin, and it's knocked out by the Bearcats.
That was a heck of a tackle by De La Cruz. She just won that 50-50 ball outright.
Here's Meyer again, working really hard on this near side. Back to De La Cruz. He plays it to Hewlett. Hewlett crossfield pass on the far post. Finn, she strikes it across and banks it in. Second goal of the night for Elizabeth Finn. She's got 2 and 1 assist to boot, and New Hampshire has their largest lead of the game on top 3-1.
That was a great finish by Elizabeth Finn. 3 points, or 5 points tonight, 2 goals and assists figuring in all 3 Wildcat goals. She waited for that nicely to get the right bounce and hit it on the one-time little like half volley there. Nice finish inside the far post. Textbook. Wildcats in the driver's seat.
You can see Finn smiling as that ball was going towards her direction. Just the 3rd goal of the year for Elizabeth Finn, who entered with 1 on the season. She's got 3 tonight, along with 1 assist on a dime to Meyer. And this Wildcat crowd is in jubilation as UNH has their largest lead of the day, on top by 2, 3-1, and they're 24 minutes away from an America East championship appearance against potentially their arch-rival Maine, who has scored again to take a 2-0 lead against UMass Lowell. Here's that strike by the Bearcats in the upper right corner, as UMaine is a 2-0 lead on this goal right there at a packed Mahaney Diamond, which is looking more and more like it will be the site of the America East title game on Sunday afternoon.
And number 17, Greta Colton. In for number 19, Megan Durante.
I know one person that's going to be real happy is the Worcester Academy coach, Mackenzie Ryder, who scores for the Bearcats, prepped there at the Worcester School, and also did Elizabeth Finn out of Situate, Mass, prepped at Worcester Academy. They were 2 years apart, but 3 goals here tonight out of Worcester Academy products.
Elizabeth Finn on Hewlett's feed. Another great cross field pass. And Finn has a couple of goals for New Hampshire, scoring in the 31st and 65th minute to put the Wildcats on top by 3. Elizabeth Finn having a night for New Hampshire, and now Binghamton trailing by 2, needs offense now and later. With under 23 to play, and the Bearcats trailing by a pair of goals against the conference's best defense, best defender, and best goaltender.
Yeah, Bearcats have their backs against the wall here. The Wildcats, I think they're just going to play their system. It's what got them here. It's what's got them so good. Just play the system. They have had lulls in each half, but they've been able to work their way out of it.
And especially with a 2-goal buffer, you have the luxury to do that. New Hampshire scoring 3 goals, all unanswered, after Mackenzie Ryder put Binghamton on top in the first 10 minutes of this contest.
Yeah, sometimes, you know what they say, those early goals get you thinking a little different way, gets the other team really hopping in their step. It's kind of a wake-up for the Wildcats, who were rusty in the beginning of the first half. But boy, they've looked good with 3 really good finishes.
Once the Wildcats found their footing, it's been full steam ahead. Fending off, too, a Binghamton rush to open the second half. Bearcats had plenty of opportunities to make this a tied game again. But New Hampshire's defense, which has been their calling card all year long, stayed strong on the back end and gave the offense time to get back in rhythm. And they did on the second goal of the evening by Elizabeth Finn to put the Wildcats on top by a pair with 21 minutes to go in the America East Conference semifinal.
Oh, with Maine scoring that second goal, they look like they're in the driver's seat to remain their number 1 seed and host the finals.
That'll be on Sunday.
I don't know if you have hybrid cleats you have to wear up there with a baseball diamond in the middle of the field.
Well, it is turf, so it's an all-turf baseball diamond. Here's a kick from the near side, rolling out. Strike by Grenz into the game for New Hampshire, replacing Garenti. Another corner kick coming here for the Wildcats. 3 goals is the season high for New Hampshire, scored this year. They've done it 3 times, most recently on the road at UMBC on the 27th of October. Grenz will take this corner kick near side for UNH. A header gets on it and a save by Williams. Oh, her best of the night. Diving to her right, punching it free as the Wildcats nearly had the dagger with 20 minutes to go.
And I think that's the first save of the night. All the other shots on goal have been goals.
So it's not a big statement to say her best goal or best save of the night, but that means it's 100% accurate to say that is her best save, and it comes at a big time, because that would have been the dagger for the Wildcats. Again, They have not scored 4 goals in a game this year. They've scored 3 goals 3 times, and here is this save by Williams with the hand to slap it away.
Yeah, great parry there by Caitlin Williams, senior goalkeeper out of Clinton, New York. Has had 3 really good shots come at her that she could not handle. That one she made a great save on.
$18 and a half to go. You see Binghamton now working with a sense of urgency. Garofalo on a home run pass into the 18. And New Hampshire clears it away.
Yeah, I think that last goal by the Wildcats such a big one because it gives you a little more relaxing feeling. And now if you give up another one, you still have a lead.
Atlanta Grenz, fresh into the game. The New Jersey native. Trying to work it ahead for New Hampshire. Binghamton controlling it back until they're not. Wildcats keeping the pressure on. And of course, sometimes the best defense is offense.
Yeah.
And as long as the ball's in the New Hampshire attacking end, it's not in the Binghamton attacking end. And the Bearcats of the team needing 2 goals. Here is Baker, who looks very healthy, sprinting down the field now, hitting the turf. What's the call here? And the ball belongs to New Hampshire.
Yeah, it should just be a goal kick. There was a good shield going on there by the Wildcat player who had an excellent angle.
Tell you what, Megan Baker has given it her all tonight. And looking for a turf burn. She went down earlier in this half, stayed in the game. Diving down to the goal line.
Yeah, Lydia Poulin, though, with an excellent body position. She wedged in there. Baker has gone down a couple of times. She's been tough out there tonight, but that play has to go to the Wildcat defender.
And you see the senior leadership and calmness of Sally Rainey in net. Couple of big deep breaths telling her team to calm down with 16 and a half minutes to go. She trusts the defense in front of her so much. Unit that has helped her win the Conference Goaltender of the Year award. Here is Kolb with a touch for New Hampshire, who won the Defensive Player of the Year in the conference this season.
So would you say Sally Rainey was like the team mother?
Team mom.
Team mom. I wonder what kind of cookies she's going to make after the game tonight.
Well, she can bring them upstairs. We're on the 4th floor as a one comes on to Rainey, who makes her first and best stop of the night.
Of course, goalkeepers, they play a lot more just than this stat of saves, taking care of the shots on goal. There's so much more to taking care of the penalty area, making the good plays, doing the communicating. That's probably the most important role that they play, is the communication and the driving different defenders in different places, different angles. Of course, always reminding the defenders, especially the center backs, that they have to be owls. Their head has to be on a swivel.
Didn't know where you were going there. I didn't know if they had to be awake at nighttime. Binghamton trying to work it for a scoring chance. That was Ryder who was depossessed. Buckwalter, far side feed. Binghamton working outside to in on this crossing pass off a Wildcat foot. And with 15 minutes to play, trailing by 2, Binghamton has a corner kick, looking to get back within 1 to keep their season alive.
Yeah, I've always tried to teach my players, my backs, that they need to be like an owl. They need to see everything. And the younger levels you go, and I've coached all levels, it's much harder to do, much easier when you get a lot older. But then again, your mind can drift at any time.
Rainey knocks it out, and so does New Hampshire. Foul called against Binghamton as Ryder was too physical. Well, this is a New Hampshire defense that has certainly been nocturnal if we're going by that measure this year. Allowing less than a goal per game. Not sure if they're next can go a full 360 degrees all the way around, but they have certainly played like they have eyes in the back of their heads. Allowing 1 goal early tonight, but since then nothing, as New Hampshire has scored 3 unanswered to take this 3-1 advantage for a Bearcat team now scrambling needing 2 goals against the conference's best defense in 13 and a half minutes. Garofalo again on a boot, and New Hampshire there to knock it out. Mimas can't win the race to it, and Herber will come in and throw it in right in front of the Wildcat bench.
Hey, think about those 10 goals against. Only 8 of those were assisted. The point totals is so low for against the Wildcats. This defense has been so stout. So we see a Wildcat down.
That is Castorina down for New Hampshire. Let's see what happens. More physicality.
Yeah, a lot of legs coming together, getting twisted, getting knocked. Yeah, looks like she's going to stay in the game.
And you touched on New Hampshire's defense. I guess we both have this entire night. They played in 7 1-0 games this year.
Yeah.
7 games that finished 1-0. Now, they didn't win all those games, but they played in 7 of them this year. Scoring 3 goals on the night tonight for just the 4th time this season.
Yeah, it makes you harden. You can play in those close games. You can get behind a goal and still have that character to keep things settled and work for those opportunities and then make them happen.
Rainey, who again puts on her vest and plays traffic cop, will take as much time as she wants off this clock before she kicks it ahead, wearing those bright red stockings in net for the Wildcats.
That main game is about 3 minutes ahead of us, maybe 2.5 minutes ahead of us. So we should know by the end of this game what will transpire as far as the finals of the America East playoffs.
Lowell's in a similar spot to Binghamton, trailing by 2. And of course, we don't want to cross the bridge before we get there. But Maine and New Hampshire finished off the season against each other. That was a 1-0 Maine win on this field on Halloween. Here comes Binghamton looking to get one back off a head deflecting over the crossbar. Mima sent that in. Hit a Wildcat back in the head. And here's a corner kick coming for Binghamton in the final 12 minutes. Buckwalter will take it from the far side for the Bearcats.
Yeah, I'm looking down at the Caitlin Williams, the goalkeeper for the Bearcats. She's now almost at midfield.
Woolen got the head on that as this one comes in. And a second corner coming for Binghamton, that is.
I think the Bearcats should throw everybody up there except the goalie. They still have a player that's about 40 yards out. They don't have anything to lose. They're down by 2. Get everybody in the box. Create havoc.
Well, Herber back was the one that shot that shot. Buckwalter will take the corner kick again. And New Hampshire ushers it out of the 18 and strikes it down the length of the midfield. Under 11 to go. Binghamton running out of time and running out of chances. Trailing the Wildcats 3-1 in this America East Championship semifinal. Near side sprints out for it. Herber wins the race, but immediately ball taken away by De La Cruz, who is depossessed as Megan Baker has played the entire field tonight, first on defense, now on offense. Would love to see her mileage in terms of how many miles she's run tonight on the field for Binghamton, especially banged up. But can't do anything with that play. And Rainey again taking time off the clock and kicking it out of danger for New Hampshire with under 10 to play.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of the Wildcats just killing out the clock here. They don't need to do anything special offensively, and they're Their defense is just playing too well, I think, for the Bearcats to notch a couple and get back into this.
Goals by Finn, Meyer, and Finn again. The 3 for New Hampshire after falling behind 1-0 on Mackenzie Ryder's goal in the 10th minute to put Binghamton on top 1-0.
Well, here's one of those rules too. Stop the clock. The team that's ahead is subbing. So instead of letting the clock go and run that down a little bit longer with substitutions, they now stop the clock.
Garenti and Lappin check back in for New Hampshire. Giovino, that is, she checks in for Lappin. Lappin takes a seat. Giovino and Garenti, the 2 entering for New Hampshire. With 9 to go and keeping the ball a long ways away from where Allie Rainey stands in her bright red jersey top for the Wildcats. Mimas trying to win the race to it. Kicked away though. Mimas in the corner keeps it alive. That would have been a corner kick, but Mimas wants it right now. Her centering feed is knocked down and cleared out by New Hampshire yet again. Interesting, Mimas played that ball.
Yeah.
Of course, the corner would take some more time off the clock, which Binghamton cannot afford right now. Mimas again centers a pass. Rainey gets the hands up. A Bearcat comes from behind to knock it free. Aggressive play by Martillo, who had that beautiful pass in the first Bearcat goal. Out of her, and Rainey now can kill clock with a goal kick.
Yeah, I think they would have ruled that this was in the goalkeeper's hands. But either way, it's still going to be Wildcat ball. This one will be a goal kick.
Nemus again controlling far side. The top assister in the conference with 8 on the season. Also 7 goals. First team all-conference pick for Binghamton, but has been held in check tonight by this really good New Hampshire defense, which is 7 minutes away from a trip to the America East Championship game. Things getting chippy as Ryder was going after that ball late. Under 7 to go. Rainey again puts one in the air towards the midfield. New Hampshire plays it down the near side. Finn, massive night for her. De La Cruz on a pass ahead, which will now roll out. And Binghamton 90 yards away from their attacking goal, trailing by 2 with 6.5 to go. Continuing to fight against this really tough New Hampshire defense. It's starting to become more and more of an improbable task here for the Bearcats.
Yeah, I just think the Wildcats defensively, their structure has been so sound tonight. Their back 5 have been outstanding. Especially like Megan Logue out of Oak Hills, California. She has had herself a dominating game. She plays the point of the D. If you call it, the Wildcats have 4D that to form this arc. She's the point in the middle, the 5th person. She's really doing a lot of directing traffic and marking up critical spots against some of their best players.
Part of a Wildcat defense that has had a big season. Been the backbone of this UNH team. This is the Wildcats' 17th game of the year. They've allowed a total of 11 goals. Rainey has just one save tonight for New Hampshire. A testament to how well the defense has played in front of her. The Bearcats have just 2 shots on goal. One the goal by Ryder, and one the save by Rainey. In total, the Wildcats have outshot the Bearcats 15-7. Castorina boxing out Mimas. Maybe watching some basketball here in crossover season. Boxing out her defender.
Castorina, she's just been grinding all game long over there. It's just special when you can really just nullify the speedy wingers that a team has. Neutralize those crosses coming from the wing.
4.5 to go. And the New Hampshire bench can taste a trip to the America East Conference semifinal for the second time in 3 years. And if they do advance, they'll face the UMaine Black Bears. Maine has taken down UMass Lowell a final of 2-0 at Mahaney Diamond in Orono. So Maine will host the America East Conference championship game with a potential rematch looming against New Hampshire. These two teams that played just last week in a 1-0 win for Maine, which gave them home field advantage. But you know how hard it is to beat a team twice.
Yeah, especially within just a couple of weeks. You know, at Halloween night, those two teams played right here. There was no tricking or treating on that. It was just a penalty kick in the first half midway through by Maine. That was the difference.
And there's no tricks to this matchup coming up between Maine and New Hampshire. Two gritty defensive teams who have a combined 2 conference losses on the season. Got to go head to head.
Well, a lot of people say that's the way it should be. You get your 2 best teams out there for the championship game. But then again, you know, we play these tournaments for a reason because we love upsets, we love underdogs, we love stories. But it will be 1 versus 2 on Sunday.
New Hampshire picked to finish 3rd of the conference preseason. Maine the preseason pick, and they have lived up to that billing. Unbeaten with 1 draw in conference play.
Little handball down there. Took the referee a couple of seconds to find her whistle. Fans down below us certainly can sense there will be a W, and the Wildcats will play for the championship.
This one coming towards Rainey's net, and she'll let it go wide. Let's see how much time Sally Rainey takes off the clock here. She picked up the ball at 1:50. We'll work it near side. 10 seconds gone by.
I think
she'll back it up. Maybe 7-8 yards is fine.
Yeah,
my hands are
20
cold.
Seconds. It's at 20 seconds now.
23, 24, and 25 seconds off the clock for Sally Rainey, who is, by all meaning of the word, a veteran.
Yeah, you know, if it was a 1-goal game, I think maybe the referee would hurry it up a little bit, or possibly even start thinking about giving a card for delay of game. But it's a 2-goal game, and doesn't look like it's really going to happen.
And we fit the final minute. Nemus in the corner, keeps it in. Wildcats very content to keep it out. Only blemish on Maine's conference resume was a 2-2 draw against NJIT, which was an upset, as the Highlanders did not even make this conference tournament.
Oh, guess what? The ball just rolled under the fence behind Sally Rainey. Got behind her.
And now with 25 seconds left, Rainey again.
Oh, it's crafty.
Can say, hey guys, move down the field. The dance party has begun on that New Hampshire bench. They've been dancing all night. I guess I can't say it's just beginning.
Oh, they're excited over there.
As we've hit 10 seconds to go. Binghamton scored the opening goal of this game in the 10th minute. But since then, it's been a Wildcat avalanche. New Hampshire scores 3